The reason why our brains are so addicted to technology is because of how our brains perceive the stimuli that our technology is sending our ways. And that this is so particularly true with our phones because of how they're able to get our attention and then also how they're able to keep our attention. So when it comes to how our brain processes attention, there's two pathways that it uses. The first one would be bottom up, and the second one would be top down processing. Many scientists initially believed that we could only focus our attention on one thing at a time and completely ignore the other stimuli. However, what it's more come to realize is that it's like a tug of war between the two stimuli, the minimum of two stimuli that you may be experiencing. So even if you completely ignore something, your brain might still be putting its attention into something else, just not fully. So this is shown in the interaction between top-down and bottom-up processing. So for top-down processing, this allows us to set our objectives, and then this also allows us to focus on them. So this requires direct focus on that task. Our brain applies what it knows and then what it expects to perceive. So some examples of top-down processing would be what we're doing right now, working on a group project, or in class listening to lectures, or like what our book talks about, driving on the road. For bottom-up processing, this is what allows our attention to be captured instantly, which is a big one on our phones. This operates more unconsciously and automatically, and this is driven more by sensory and contextual clues. Examples of this would be hearing our own name, hearing your phone ring, hearing it buzz, and then even some more common things like smelling your favorite food, smelling smoke, cigarettes, or just smelling a smell that like you may like, or like even like gasoline at a gas station. So how does this relate to our phones? Our phones are especially addictive because of how it uses both bottom-up and top-down processing, which allows us to really get hooked on our phones and like spend a lot of times on it. So the stimuli that would be like a buzz or a ringer or like any flashing, that would be that bottom-up pathway. And then whatever information your phone is displaying and what sucks us into the phone, that would be the top-down processing. So this causes our brain to be directed into one thing while decreasing the ability to be focused on the other thing. So once you're kind of sucked into your phone, you're not really going to be focused on anything else. That's where that tug of war analogy were to come in. That once your phone takes your attention, even if you do have the intention of focusing on something else, your phone has enough stimuli and was able to capture your attention enough that in the tug of war analogy, your phone's probably going to be pulling more of that attention. So in regards to the book, Reggie was texting and driving, which caused both pathways to be occupied by his phone. So even though he had full intentions of being focused on the road, the phone with its stimuli captured more of his attention, which caused him to be more distracted on the road. So he was not able to sense that he was swerving and coming onto oncoming traffic, and this is what resulted in him killing 2 people. When you're not on your phone, when you're not looking at your phone or not paying attention to something else, you're only focused on the road. So swerving onto oncoming traffic when you're fully awake would never happen. But when you're on your phone, your attention's being pulled away, and your phone does a really good job of doing that. And that's what happened in Reggie's case.